Good evening, everyone. I am Ayush and I am from PDEU Mechanical Engineering second year, and I am recording my assignment for Fluid Mechanics lecture. So, the problem statement is to verify the Bernoulli's equation and see the applications of Bernoulli's equation in day to day life. So, let's begin with what is Bernoulli's equation. On a basic level, we can say that Bernoulli's equation is just energy conservation equation, and out of many methods from which the Bernoulli's equation is derived, one of them is energy conservation. And this is the Bernoulli's equation that we can see here, and we'll see all of them one by one. So if we talk about Bernoulli's equation, it basically says that the pressure energy, the kinetic energy, and the potential energy are always conserved. And in this equation, we have, we can say, all of them have the unit of length, that is meter, and we can say that pressure head, the kinetic head, and the potential head are always constant. So this means that the sum of all energies is always constant. So another way that this equation is derived is from the Euler's equation, and Euler's equation is derived from the Newton's second law, that is F equals ma, and if we just talk about one dimension, Fx equals max. Now Bernoulli's equation is a very simplified form of the Euler's equation, and Euler's equation also does not consider all the forces on the LHS. So when we write the acceleration term and the sum of all the forces, Euler's equation does not consider the turbulent forces, the viscous forces, and other electromagnetic or magnetic forces which can be present. But Euler's equation considers just the pressure force. Now, even in the Euler's equation, if we have some approximations, we can say that along a streamline for ideal flows. What do I mean by ideal flows? The flows which does not consider viscous forces or inviscid flow. Viscosity for the fluid is 0. There is no resistance to flow for the specific fluid that we have considered, an ideal fluid, which can never be possible in reality. Now, along a streamline for an ideal flow, inviscid flow, if the fluid is incompressible, along a streamline, density of the fluid must not change, then Bernoulli's equation is valid. Now we can argue that in real life these considerations are never possible. So why are we doing Bernoulli's? So in this study we have considered a problem where we have seen solving accurately, experimentally, and with the Bernoulli's flow, that what the differences in the final values are. Now when I say solving more accurately, I am referring to a more accurate equation, that is the Navier-Stokes equation or the momentum equations. This is the compressed form of the Navier-Stokes equation, where there are a few terms: the convective term, the diffusion term, the pressure term. There is one source term, and the source term for the y direction we have kept as the gravity, because on earth we have gravity, and in x direction the source term value is 0. So I have written Sy, and Sy equals g. We also have the unsteady term in our equation. Now that we are talking about equations, there is one supreme equation, not supreme, not the most supreme like F equals ma, but supreme equation in the sense it governs the flow it governs all types of flow, and that is the continuity equation. For our Navier-Stokes equation, we have considered our flow to be laminar and incompressible. So the density terms are constant. So they will all come out of these terms. It will get, we'll take these terms out. It will get divided. This is our kinematic viscosity nu. And sorry, here this was not there previously, and now that all densities have come out, now we can write this. Now this equation is a very notorious equation. This equation has more unknowns than there are number of equations depending on the dimensions we have. For this, we'll solve our problems for 2 dimensions. So there are 2 equations and 3 unknowns, that is u, v and p. U is the velocity in the x direction, v is the velocity in the y direction, and the p is pressure. So we have 3 unknowns and 2 equations. This equation is unsolvable. We need to apply some special numerical methods to solve this equation, and there are many numerical methods that we can use to solve these equations using discretizations. Now the many methods are finite difference method, finite volume method, finite element method, lattice-Boltzmann method, and all of them have some advantages and some disadvantages. For our problem, I have used the ANSYS Fluent software, and it uses finite volume method for solving the problems. Now this whole concept of numerical methods in fluids, where we use a computer and iteratively solve our problem, is known as computational fluid dynamics, CFD. And CFD can be done on softwares like ANSYS Fluent, on OpenFOAM. It can be coded manually on Python, MATLAB, and there are many such ways that it can be solved. Now let's move on to our problem. So this was the problem that we performed in our class during the lecture, and this was the problem where the outlet diameter was 0.004 meters, talking in SI. The diameter of the tank was 0.24 meters, and height of the hole from the surface of the water was 0.16 meters. Now doing some naming, we can say, first of all, for the Bernoulli's equation, the most critical part is to select the points where we need to solve the equation. So for us, I have selected this surface of water as the point 1, and the outlet, the center of the outlet of the hole, as the point 2. Now the velocity from this outlet is v2, and the velocity of the water which is moving down is v1. This velocity v1 will be really small than the velocity v2, but still we are not neglecting. However, in many books you can find that in this particular problem v1 is neglected. Now how can we solve v1? From our old continuity equation, but not that differential equation. From the continuity equation that we have studied, rho1 a1 v1 equals rho2 a2 v2, and we assume that the density of water is not changing on these points, so the densities can be cancelled out, and a1 v1 equals a2 v2. So the one variable v1 can be written in terms of v2, and then when we put this v1 in this Bernoulli's equation, where both the pressure are cancelled, because for just 16 centimeters of difference we can neglect the pressure drop, so this can be neglected, and in v1 we can put the formula of v1 in terms of v2, and we can get one equation for v2. On solving that we get the value of v2 to be 1.772 meter per second. You can do the calculations on your own, or I'll share the report in the description of this video if you want to refer the calculations. So what's the problem with this? Now we also do our experiment and get the particular value of the velocity by just measuring the volume collected uh, in a beaker 100 ml. And why only 100 ml, not bigger volume? It is a critical part. If a large distance is decreased during the removal of water, then that has to be adjusted in the Z2 minus Z1 term in the Bernoulli's equation. But we are not adjusting that, and we are assuming that during the process Z2 minus Z1 is remaining constant, which is not the case. Now, if we want to get the perfect solution from Bernoulli's equation, we need to iteratively solve this process, because Z is also unknown and V is also unknown. Iteratively we can get the solution, but for now we just considered 100 ml removal of water and a very negligible decrease in the height. Now the problem is that this equation is not considering any viscosity, and we want some accurate results. So what can we do? We can do CFD, computational fluid dynamics. And from our CFD results, in CFD I have considered the flow to be laminar. Two volume of fluid method is used, where there are two fluids, basically air and water, and this is given as a outlet, and this is the inlet, and we wanted to see the trajectory of the water. So what we did, we created another container on the right hand side, and on the container's upper part we gave the outlet boundary condition, a boundary condition for the outlet, pressure outlet. We basically said to our model that pressure here is 1 atm, as same as this part. In CFD, to get the result, we can keep one probe at the center. So I just put one probe in the solutions in the center part of the flow, and I got my velocity to be 1.69 meter per second. Now let's review our experimental calculations, and this was really intriguing at some point, that what is happening when we calculated experimentally. The value of velocity was 0.85 meter per second. So on thinking a lot and moving further in our fluid mechanics class, we learned that for a flow like a pipe flow, which was happening just at the outlet, because there was a pipe in our experimental setup also and in our CFD setup also. So in a pipe flow, the average velocity of the fluid is half of the maximum velocity at the center, and that is because in a pipe flow we know that fluid follows a parabolic trajectory. So the maximum velocity is in the center, but the average velocity for the pipe, V average, is V max by 2. And now if we see experimentally, always V average, the average velocity will only be calculated. So the average velocity is 0.85, and the interesting part is when we divide our max velocities from Bernoulli and from CFD, we get a near answer to the reality. And now if we see what's the answer, so we have calculated our real world experimental velocity to be 0.85 meter per second. From CFD we have got the average velocity equal to 0.845 meter per second, which has just 0.59% of error, which is really small error. Now if we say CFD is just simulating real world, so why there is this error? This error is due to many approximations that have been done in the CFD. The discretization, the conversion of partial differential equations to the linear algebraic equations misses a few points in the mesh, every point the equation cannot be solved, and like our continuous domain, CFD is not continuous. CFD solves on a discrete mesh. So solving on a discrete mesh, many errors can be induced. Also, we have considered laminar flow and certain turbulence, or some turbulent models may be used in CFD, which may decrease the error even further, but this is quite acceptable results. From Bernoulli's equation, we get our velocity to be 0.885 meter per second. That's also quite acceptable. Error less than 5% is a good result. It is giving error of 4.1%. So we have seen application of Bernoulli in this particular case. Bernoulli's equation is applicable mostly everywhere in the fluid flow. The future scope for the particular study includes, we can use different fluids like honey and compare experimental results with CFD results, and also the Bernoulli's results, that what's the difference that is coming with different fluids. And we can use other fluids, we can use ferrofluids, we can use fluids with nanomaterials, and huge applications we can test these things. So till next time, thank you.